Hi everybody, we are going to give our very first hair tutorial video a shot. You're gonna have to bear with me because I've never done this before. It's super new, so we are so trying everything possible to make this go smooth. Today we're gonna do our very first video on round brushing. It is something that I hear over and over in the salon as far as everybody says, I come in, you do a beautiful job, but my hair never looks the same. So today we're gonna do a start to finish on how to have the salon look at home. So for now, I'm going all natural, so you can see from start to finish what the product that I use are and how my technique works. So number one, shower. I washed my hair. I use my Global Keratin Moisturizing Shampoo and Conditioner. You can see my natural hair, which I have already brushed out, is very curly naturally and very frizzy. So the Global Keratin has Juvexin in it that helps to keep my hair nice and smooth. Once I got out of the shower, I did use the leave-in cream. Some people like the cream, some like the spray. The spray is definitely lighter, so if you feel like the cream's a little too heavy, definitely go for the spray. Comb that through. I have had nothing but time, so I've let my hair air dry about 80 to 90% right now. If you have the time, definitely recommended, so it cuts your heat exposure down to hardly anything. If you don't have the time, just go through, do a rough blow dry, get a lot of that moisture out first, and then we'll go through with the round brush. Okay, so now that we've talked about our sectioning, we're gonna go back through. So for starting, we're gonna go back to our section number one, and I always clip everything out of the way. Number one reason why people say that their hair doesn't last, or it's frizzy, or it doesn't stay smooth, you don't have either enough heat or you don't dry it all the way through. This is why sectioning is so important, because you really get every section really thorough. So then that way tomorrow when I wake up, I really don't have any curl back in my hair. I don't have any crazy creases. I really just have to touch up and go from there. Now that we're sectioned back out, I am going to use my Chi round brush. It is my Old Faithful. I love it. The metal inside of here heats up almost as if I was using a flat iron, which also helps as far as keeping everything nice and smooth. So to give it a start, I always make sure there's no tangles to make sure that you're not going to get stuck. You don't have anything to worry about as far as your brush getting tangled or anything like that. Always start at the base and I wrap it, and you can see that there's quite a bit of tension there as far as in the brush. So you can see all the tension that I have. So I gave it about a good twist, make sure that hair is nice and smooth. From there, I'm gonna grab my blow dryer. I'm using a Rusk blow dryer. I've had it for a little while. I love it. It heats up. It's super powerful, especially for my hair texture. It always does a good job. So from here, I have that tension nice and tight. I do have my blow dryer on a high heat. So I'm going to point my blow dryer. Some do have the attachment. You can always feel free to use that. The main thing here is to make sure that your wind is blowing in the direction that you want your hair to go. So if you're using your blow dryer and pointing it upwards, you're gonna have all kinds of frizzy flyaways that are gonna start popping out. So you wanna make sure you're pointing your blow dryer down with your hair strand, and you're gonna go down as you can. From here, you're gonna continue to go and follow that hair strand all the way down, dry, dry, dry. Once you get to your ends, I always do a quick turn and then dry, quick turn, and then dry. So with the blow dryer on, this is what it's gonna look like. Step number one, put it at the base, pull it nice and tight, get all my tension, and here we go. So from there, I'm going to go over to this side, and I'm going to make sure that that is nice and dry. And then I'm going to do the following section here, And then once I get up to the T part, I will be back and I will show you how to finish everything up. Okay, just checking in now. We are on section number 3. Just wanted to touch base kind of midway through. I did notice along the way that yes, I do have section 1, 2, 3, and 4 here, but I also, while blow drying, use little subsections. So on section number 3, we'll say, I also have, we'll call it 3A, 3B, and then 3C. So from there, every section does have smaller sections inside, and again, goes back to making sure that each section is thoroughly blow dried to where there is no moisture left and it's nice and smooth. So from starting point to now, you can see that my curl is gone. It's pretty smooth, and I'm just left with section number 4. So on section number 4, I'm going to section out my T here, and on the front section I'm going to clip the top portion of the T. I'm going to clip that so you can see here I have my part and my T. From here I'm going to take my blow dryer. Now this is going to depend on if you want your hair to face forward or you want it to face away. I like for my hair to face away from my face, or my hair to face away from my face. I feel like I've got a smaller face, a whole lot of hair, so as much hair off of my face as possible is really the goal here. So to do so, I take my section here, again, comb through, make sure there's no tangles. I place my brush, put my tension, and I roll away from my face. So that's going to ensure that that hair is going to dry and go away from my face versus coming forward and having that like curl towards my face. Now, if you have a bang, you can do this in 2 sections here. So I slightly have a little bang going on. There it is right here. So I can do this as the first section, and I can blow dry that. And then I could take the bang, twirl it around, and blow dry that. From there, I would repeat on this opposite side here, and then I'll be back once we get to the back section. All right, so I've sectioned out my T. I have dried my front section. It is gonna fall forward with me putting my hair down, so I'm just gonna tuck that for the video behind my ears. Here's our last section of the T. This, if you are a volume person, is most important here. So from here, I take my last final section and I dry 1, 2, and I'm gonna go on and clip this middle section back up. So from here, I'll video the entire process, and then once I get to the middle, I'll kind of talk you through that too. So here we go. Comb out all the tangles. Place my brush. Again, now with this section and wanting volume, everything needs to go back away from your face. So right now I have my tension, I have my brush in there, and see how the hair is rolling away from the face. now that I am at the final section, this middle section at the top of the T, depending again on how much hair you have, how much texture is in your hair, I again have curly, thick, coarse hair. So this section right here, if you can see how deep it is, I am gonna go on and break that into 2 sections here. So just split that in half. And then with this section, you roll directly back for your volume. Everything's dry, I do like to give one final blow dry to make sure everything's nice and good. I blend out all of my lines. So right where you see where my T was, here's my part, here's my T. You can see a little bit of, there you go. You can see a little bit of separation here. So I take the 2 sections. This is a wide section. It doesn't have to be super thin. You've already dried it, so this is more for styling purpose. So I've taken and blended the 2 sections together. And I'm going to give it a go. And now that everything's nice and blended here, you can see that I have quite a lot of volume. My hair is really already styled. Tomorrow when I wake up, I truly won't have to flat iron if I don't want to, and I could wake up and go. But I bet that when I wake up, I am probably gonna flat iron and curl, and we'll do our next tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Again, first video ever, so I am working on whatever's gonna help everybody out there.